And we're underway. Untidy start all round, cold. And that first delivery. Always got a smile on her face. And we're underway. Alyssa disconcerting wearing the blue of the Yorks. Just caught a little cold. And that first to me. Lydia Greenway.
Yeah, I was looking at this pitch earlier at the toss, and it's an absolute road. It was meant to be used for the Blast game the other evening. Because it was a washout, it means that this one is a fresh pitch.
Susie Bates opens up her account. Pitch looks to be a good one. It's pretty solid and nice even covering of grass on it. So often I guess the girls turn up, particularly at the test match grounds, to find used surfaces with footmarks and scars all over them, but not tonight. Should be no excuses whatsoever about the quality of the surface. Outfield is quick and the boundaries are short. Short ball. Don't often see that. Beth Langston is punished, probably more for the line than the height, although Neil Bainton disagrees, signalling that that's the one for the over. Oh, and that's been timed quite magnificently by Danny Wyatt. Just a defensive push, but it flew to point. Indicator of the sort of form that she's in.
As watch looks in such good form.
And she didn't hold back there.
And this, if you were to sum Danny Wyatt up in a shot, this is the shot that you would describe. Up and over extra cover, giving herself space, and just pure timing. Clears the boundary with ease, and just think Yorkshire Diamonds, just need to be aware, okay, where are they going to bowl to her? To me, someone in form as Danny Wyatt is, you have to bowl straight.
Field has changed. Field has gone back on the offside boundary. Third man up inside the circle, much tighter line.
Started her career at Southern Vipers, Lindsay Smith, that's where she made.
I'm just going to have a little look at this. Lindsay Smith disturbing the furniture. I've not seen her in England colours since the World T20 in the Caribbean. England played 3 left arm spinners. Does well to get away with that one. 8 ball over. 10 runs from it. It's 10 for none. Batting aplenty for the Southern Vipers. Tammy Beaumont in next at number 3. A role that she performed for England during the Ashes until the very last game, actually, where she ended up opening the batting. Brooks, Bouchier, Kelly and Morris.
Yeah, it's where the Southern Vipers traditionally have been so strong in their batting lineup. Topped the table the first 2 years, had a bit of a shocker last year, finishing bottom. Batter light this evening, Stefani Taylor. Lee Kasperick take the ball at the other end. New Zealand international, got Scottish heritage as well. One of the top ranked bowlers in the world at the moment.
Yeah, off breaks from Kasperick, and the fumble brings about a change in the strike. 3 for 25 for Lee Kasperick. Best for her this season was against the Surrey Stars.
I think one of the things with the teams in this tournament, and as with any tournament, it's about finding your formula and what works at different stages of the game. I think for the Yorkshire Diamonds, they've just struggled to find that at times. They opened the bowling in yesterday with Katie Levitt, a bit of leg spin, but they've changed that again, and sometimes that's just a sign that teams are still trying to work things out. With their bowling in the power play, they're going at nearly 8 and over. Such a crucial part of the game, batting and the bowling.
Yeah, having said all that, it was a heck of a win for them yesterday against the Surrey Stars. Up and over, long off again for Danny Wyatt, and that'll make its way to the boundary as well. Perhaps that's the reason they've decided not to go with the leg spin, because Wyatt's strength is so much towards the offside. They've tried to get it in tighter, spin the ball in towards her, but she gave herself plenty of room and still got it over there. Deliberately played. Soft hands. The delivery was just above 45 miles per hour, so didn't run all the way to third man, but it was very deliberate from Wyatt.
Yeah, better ball from Kasperick as well, just bowling it into the pitch a bit more, not allowing Wyatt to come down, use her feet. That's what she wants to do. Tough one, isn't it, when you know you're bowling to someone in as good a form as someone like Danny Wyatt. As an off-spin bowler, obviously right arm over, you're bringing in all dismissals, but you know you're also opening yourself up to be whacked down the ground over offside. So do you change the angle, come round the wicket, but then you bring out modes of dismissal. It's the end of the second. Vipers 19 for 0. You always want to target batters when they're fresh, don't you? That's the the risk that you run.
Yeah, interesting. They do have the left arm over option of Katie George in the lineup. Potential to kind of cut down that angle at Tammy Beaumont a little bit. So they've obviously decided that right arm over and off spin are the way to go. Beth Langston will continue from the pavilion end. Pulled away, but there's cover out there. I suppose it's in front of square, just behind square on the leg side. And again, the middle of the bat found with no problem whatsoever by Danny Wyatt.
Yeah, it's a good shot, good sign that it's a nice wicket as well. She picked it up early. True bounce, consistent, got up at a good height.
That's a fine stroke. Class from Susie Bates.
A very good shot here from Susie Bates. She's off with a bit of width from Langston and she's played it on the up. Weight forward, hasn't been forced back. She played it nice and late as well, opening that face.
And Beth Langston managed to get something on it. It was something of the Martin Crowe in that stroke through the offside from Susie Bates. Way before your time, that, Lydia. Bit of support here for the Vipers. Really getting into the business end of the KSL now. 10 matches each in the group stages. Western Storm inflicted a fourth defeat on champions of Surrey Stars this afternoon and have extended their lead at the top of the Kia Super League to 15 points. It's very likely that they will be waiting to find out who finishes in second and third place, to see who'll be battling it out to meet them in the final at Hove on the 1st of September. All to play for the Lightning and the Vipers. And the Surrey Stars, well, they're watching those in front of them disappear into the distance right now. Magnificent strike. Wyatt's on the move, 29 for no loss.
Ah, Norway, land of the midnight sun, the splendour of the fjords, the majesty of the glaciers. But first, some ice in my vodka martini.
Yes, very good.
7-night holidays on our new ship Iona from $749 per person. P&O Cruises.
This is the life.
Beautiful evening here at the Aegeus Bowl. It looks like a superb surface as well. Danny Wyatt is making the most of her opportunity to get out there and make inroads in the power play. Strike rate of 200 already. Hasn't missed the middle of the blade yet. Lauren Winfield has been forced into making changes, and she's turned to the left arm spin of Lindsay Smith.
She'll be familiar with this ground. Played for Southern Vipers in the first year of the Kia Super League. Made a big impact. That earned her an England contract. Since then she's played at Loughborough Lightning and now Yorkshire Diamonds. Very capable with the ball. Another player who used to bowl seam and then turn to spin. See that a lot, don't you? You don't often see it the other way round. Spin bowler turn into seam.
No, that'd be daft. Ashley Giles was one. Played a lot of cricket with Ashley Giles at youth level. He was a left arm quick before he saw the error of his ways and decided to bowl left arm spin and become a very handy middle to lower order batsman. Bang! That's going to go all the way. Never mind the fact that the boundaries are in a long way here. That would have carried on the full-size one. Danny Wyatt is in the mood.
She certainly is. Not overly a flighted delivery from Lindsay Smith, but just very good footwork from Danny Wyatt. Brilliant timing, nice and quick to the ball. Doesn't overhit it.
Oh, fetch that. That's a gift when you're in the sort of form that Danny Wyatt is. Problems here for the Diamonds.
Oh, this is just a poor delivery from Lindsay Smith. Full toss, Danny Wyatt. Very clinical in where she's going to dispatch that one. Offside field up. So that's to get it through the gap. Average first inning score here at the Ageas Kia Super League games, 126. Oh!
Well, she made the adjustment. I think that Lindsay Smith has gained some sort of victory there because Danny Wyatt was fooled by the arm ball. She still managed to get her hands down on it and find the gap between the two fielders behind square on the offside. Now Dot to finish the over. 15 runs from it. It's 44 without loss from 4 now.
Get themselves in a very good position here. Spoke about the average first innings total here at the Ageas Bowl being 126. They're well on their way to surpassing that quite comfortably. Average first innings score in the competition this year is 142.
Not more changes. Beth Langston makes way for Katie Levick with her leg spin. Open Lucy Bates. If that's the case at the moment. She's 7 from 10. Wyatt flying on 34 from 15 at the non-strikers.
Yeah, she had some success yesterday opening the bowl and picked up a couple of wickets. Only went for 13 off her 4 overs. She just obviously opting to mix it up, go with pace early on. Beth Langston.
One thing I would have done with Susie Bates on strike, and I've had the fielders on one very, very close. As it was, the ball just bounced off the pad and we didn't even have to sprint to make the single. And now Danny Wyatt's back on strike again.
This is where you hold your breath as a bowling and fielding team in the power play. You want to get out of it as quickly as you can, come out as unscathed as possible.
Oh, that's beautiful. Fine shot indeed from Danny Wyatt.
A really good shot again. If you look at Danny Wyatt's wagon wheel over her career, the majority of her boundaries will be in this area. Does so well in giving herself space. It's making Yorkshire Diamonds think at the moment. Just wonder as well if a change in angle might help coming around the wicket.
Yeah, certainly something to think about. It's a good line from Katie Levick, using all her experience. Leading wicket taker in county cricket. Good line, not trying to spin the leg break. That's wide, and that's going to be punished. Slashed away. 50 up for the Vipers. Danny Wyatt raffles on to 42. It's 53 without loss.
England have been through 2 grueling tests against the Welsh.
With Japan looming, they've just stepped up their preparations.
And now, the preparations for the World Cup continue with another huge challenge. England take on the Irish at Twickenham, live on Sky Sports.
Tammy Beaumont then, captain of the Vipers at the toss, said we've got a really good surface here and we want to have a
Evening, Nicholas. Sounds a strange thing to say that you actually want to be bowling at Susie Bates rather than Danny Wyatt. Such has been the quality of the striking from Danny Wyatt. You just want to bowl at Susie Bates at this moment in time. Something for Lauren Winfield to think about.
just look controlled, doesn't she, as well? I know she's been hitting boundaries. What, she got 2 6s and 6 4s, but there's an element of control to her aggression. It's very still when she hits it, not frenetic in any way at all. Edge not where she intended. Good work on the boundary, but it will mean that Danny Wyatt is back on strike.
Just have a look at this grouping, though, where Danny Wyatt is striking it. Everything round about, on and around, wide of off stump. So they've not really tucked her up. That's her area. She wants to free her arms. She just gets a little bit leg side-ish. Not seeing any of the right armers perhaps come round the wicket, tuck her up a little bit.
Goes again. What a shot. What an extraordinary shot. Just for a moment. Deep point, deep extra cover was interested. Yeah, it goes all the way. Such is her form at the moment.
It was such a pure strike as well. And again, it's the movement from Danny Wyatt. Back foot outside of leg stump, allowing her that freedom just to open up, go inside out. That's why she's so strong.
Beautifully controlled there.
It has surprised me just a little bit where, you know, obviously Danny Wyatt, Lauren Winfield knows Danny Wyatt, a lot of the Yorkshire players know that the way she plays. I'm surprised that they've
Kasparek just 1 over so far, 8 runs. So Lauren Winfield just trying to find a combination. No, just sliding down potentially. It's yeah, just going down, just drifting down with a little bit of spin. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. No turn this time, it went straight on, and Susie Bates was committed down the pitch. Good work, they needed that.
Lauren Winfield has turned to the person she thought was the best opportunity of breaking this partnership up. Lee Kasparek, the Kiwi international. Lovely piece of bowling, just enticing Bates down. Alyssa Healy does the rest. Antipodean mix, getting rid of another one. Susie Bates gone for 9, and the Vipers 62 for 1.
Well, 9 from 17, but it was an excellent opening partnership. Getting Danny Wyatt on strike, but more class to come. Tammy Beaumont then strides to the crease. Well, at the toss, she said it's a really good surface, and probably the strength will be with their batting, but they're in a very good position to put on.
And if you've missed the start of the hilarious A League of Their Own, then you can watch from the start on Catch Up.
The Premier League season is underway.
You owe me a second chance.
You had a second chance many times.
I would do anything to undo what happened.
You're asking me to help hunt him down.
It has to be you.
You never met a monster you couldn't love.
The widest range of TV in Ultra HD on Sky Q.
After a thrilling second test, the rain was the winner. Now to the third test. Australia's Great Barrier is missing, to the relief of England.
Skill, courage, bravery, drama, amazing test cricket.
The third test starts tomorrow on Sky Sports The Ashes.
The Premier League is back and we're stepping it up again. Let me show you. Sure, Gilfie's capable of a spectacular free kick. So why not back the most in Premier League history? Meza, the assist king. How about an assist per game for these boys? What we saying this season, Jack?
More glory.
Ha! Loving the optimism. I know this all sounds a bit crazy, but let's dream big. Aston Villa versus Everton and Liverpool versus Arsenal, live on Sky Sports Premier League.
This programme is brought to you by Screwfix, proud partner of the EFL and Sky Sports Football.
Last night in the Sky Bet Championship, Sheffield Wednesday went top of the table after a victory over Luton. Brits Sombolonga scored the only goal of the game, giving Jonathan Woodgate his first win as Borough boss. And Andy Vyman scored against his old side as Bristol City won at Pride Park. Tonight's action comes from Deepdale as Preston North End hosts Stoke City. Kick-off is at 7:45. Nathan Jones's side are still looking for their first win of the season. But after putting in some good performances and creating plenty of chances, the hope is that a much-needed win is not far away. Tonight they make one change from the side that drew at Derby County last time out. Tom Edwards comes back into the starting 11. Preston have had a mixed start to their campaign. An impressive win over Wigan was followed up by a 3-2 defeat to Swansea City. Alex Neil makes 3 changes for tonight's game. In come Tom Clark, Tom Barkhausen and Josh Harrop. Well, that's one of 7 Sky Bet Championship games going on this evening. If you're watching at home, the full 90 minutes with commentary is available for any of these games via the red button or on the Sky Sports app. For more info on match availability, go to skysports.tv/EFL Live. And over on Sky Sports Action, we will have full coverage of an unbeaten Charlton side against Nottingham Forest from 7:40. And then we'll round up all the action in the EFL Goal Show that follows us at 10:15 this evening. Good evening. 5 cracking games last night, 7 more for you this evening. Sky Sports Football is the place.
.66 for 1.
In the power play, they're going at nearly 8 and over.
Bombarded here with a lot of questions, aren't you? Since you've come and joined us, we do appreciate it. I mean, it's big news what happened yesterday, so it's great to get your views on it. I mean, looking at perhaps a slightly wider view of it, what does this England setup need most, regardless of who might be the coach?
Yeah, I think, it's been well talked about. We need a really good domestic structure underneath that England structure, I think, so that everything's not reliant on the England programme. I think that's really important. I think we need a really robust selection process. At the moment, I don't think there's a head of selectors, which I think there is too much control by the coach, and I think it puts them in an awkward position in many ways. So I think you need a head of select, someone independent that can challenge decisions.
Going at nearly 8 and over.
the England men have it. They have two people, Ed Smith and James Taylor. We haven't got anyone. So I think that would be one of the first things you should do. Where you'd hope the new coach would want in place. Yes, I think a new domestic structure, a robust selection policy, and we've got good talent scouts now around the country who are watching lots of age group cricket, identifying talent from a young age.
Excellent delivery. Just a good little phase of play here for Yorkshire Diamonds. Under the cosh in the early overs, thanks to Danny Wyatt. Just getting an element of control back in the last over or two.
Trying to work things out. They're bowling in the power play. They're going at nearly 8 and over.
And the Ashes, some of the batting there, do you see that as being a technical issue, or was that more a cultural issue? I mean, what would you look to change there?
I don't think too much. I've watched the England batters over the last few weeks in the KSL, and they're batting beautifully. I think, it was a little bit of them, a little bit out of form mentally. I think, a couple of the Australian bowlers had it over a couple of the England batters, and I think it kind of just ran through the team in the end. But they're still a really good team. They've got some world-class players, as we've seen, and as we see out here now.
Sliding down, I think. Just skidded off the surface. Not a lot of grip or turn here.
Sometimes that's just a sign that teams are still trying to work things out. With their bowling in the power play, they're going at nearly 8 and over. They've changed it again, and sometimes it's just a sign.
Simple catch, very, very simple catch indeed. Just trying to work it round the corner.
Power play, they're going at nearly 8 and over. Sometimes it's just a sign that.
And they've bowled really, really well to Tammy Beaumont and have the Yorkshire Diamonds. They've kept her very quiet. She's taken the majority of the strike over the last couple of overs, and she's struggled to get the bowling away. Katie George bowled well from the other end, and now Katie Levitt picking up the wicket of Tammy Beaumont. But she was there for 9 balls, only scored the 1 run. A little bit of trouble for the Southern Vipers, 69 for 2.
Have everyone been to toilet? Sergio.
They're bowling in the power play. They're going at nearly 8 and over. They've changed it again, and sometimes that's just a sign that teams are still trying to work things out. With their bowling in the power play, they're going at nearly 8 and over. They've changed it again, and sometimes that's just a sign that teams are still trying to work things out. With their bowling in the power play, they're going at nearly 8 and over. They've changed it again, and sometimes that's just a sign that teams are still trying to work things out. With their bowling in the power play, they're going at nearly 8 and over. They're bowling in the power play, they're going at nearly 8 and over. They've changed it again, and sometimes that's just a sign that teams are still trying to work things out. With their bowling in the power play, they're going at nearly 8 and over. They've changed it again, and sometimes that's just a sign that teams are still trying to work things out. With their bowling in the power play, they're going at nearly 8 and over. They've changed it again, and sometimes that's just a sign that teams are still trying to work things out. They're bowling in the power play, they're going at nearly 8 and over. They've changed it again, and sometimes that's just a sign that teams are still trying to work things out. With their bowling in the power play, they're going at nearly 8 and over. They've changed it again, and sometimes that's just a sign that teams are still trying to work things out. With their bowling in the power play, they're going at nearly 8 and over. They've changed it again, and sometimes that's just a sign that teams are still trying to work things out. With their bowling in the power play, they're going at nearly 8 and over. They've changed it again, and sometimes that's just a sign that teams are still trying to work things out. They've changed it again, and sometimes that's just a sign that teams are still trying to work things out. With their bowling in the power play, they're going at nearly 8 and over. And sometimes that's just a sign that teams are still trying to work things out. With their bowling in the power play, they're going at nearly 8 and over. Spin, but they've changed that again with their bowling in the power play. They're going at nearly 8 and over. Spin, but with their bowling in the power play. They're going at nearly 8 and over. Spin, but they've changed their bowling in the power play. They're going at nearly 8 and over. Spin, but they've changed that again with their bowling in the power play. They're going at nearly 8 and over. With their bowling in the power play, they're going at nearly 8 and over. Spin, but they've changed that again, and sometimes that's just a sign that teams are still trying to work things out.
Excellent, excellent bowling.
Bowling in the power play,
72 miles an hour. We'll let you go. I know you're desperate to get back up the dressing room. Can you just do you just chill out now, or do you have a sort of direct involvement up there?
I just sit on the balcony and drink cups of coffee. It's quite easy up there, isn't it?
Yeah, good on you. Thanks for coming and joining us.
Cheers.
Poor old Charlotte. She came down and lost 2 wickets. Danny Wyatt still playing nicely though. Interesting what she said, isn't it? I mean, saying that she'd like to have some sort of involvement with England, but not as the head coach. Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Just to have her involved.
Absolutely does, doesn't it? An enormous amount of experience. She knows the girls so well. I mean, played against a lot of them. There's that little sort of crossing over of eras. She played with some, and some that she might have coached as well. That's a lot of experience you want to tap into. She just slid one down the leg side, but I've just been, as you mentioned, just watching the pace of Katie George. She looks fit, she looks healthy. Had a few injury problems over the last couple of years, but looks in very good rhythm. Just managed to drag things back, haven't they?
Yeah, Lauren Winfield's done well as well, because she's just keeping the field up. She's trying to keep Danny Wyatt off strike at the moment. For 2 obvious reasons, really. One, that she's playing so well, but 2, it might just frustrate her a little bit. That may just create the rash shot. And as long as she's at the non-striker's end. Finds the gap this time and goes for 4. Needed that. Much better over then for the Vipers. 10 from it, 79 for 2. Just a little too short this time. Maya Bouchier's in next, talking before play with Charlotte Edwards, who's just left us now in the pod. She said she's one to just keep an eye out for. She's a very talented player.
Catch that!
Simple catch again. So there you go. Maybe the frustration, maybe the disappointment of not quite having as much strike as she'd like. It's just paid dividends. It's been good captaincy from Lauren Winfield. Wyatt goes, well made 59.
It just looks as if she was in early on her position and she's just ended up clothing it straight to mid-wicket. I doubt she would have been eyeing up another 100 the way that she was seeing the ball, the shots that we saw. It's in such good form. She's gone for a brilliant 59. Southern Vipers 79 for 3.
She said she was going to chill out with a cup of coffee. She's got a little bit of chilling out to do, I think. Yeah, not happy. The boss. It's all going so well. That was a terrific innings, so nothing much you can blame for Danny Wyatt. 59 from just 30 deliveries. Sometimes you just have to give credit, don't you, to the bowling side and the captaincy. Just keeping her off strike for a little while. It's a good phase of play here for the Diamonds. Boucher just saying. Charlotte Edwards looking forward to watching her play. She'll get out of second ball now, won't she? After just giving her the big build-up.
That's always the way, isn't it? No, she's good play, exciting. She started her county career at Middlesex. Just have another look at Danny Wyatt's dismissal. Probably the only shot that she didn't get it straight out of the middle of. Comfortable catch.
To get back. Yeah! Oh, direct hit. Gonna check. And looks like she hasn't gone back with the celebrations there. It looks like she hasn't quite made her ground.
Oh, she struck it nicely. She struck it straight to the fielder. She set off straight away. She's not even in the screen here. A long way out. And that just confirms it. Disappointing for Maya Boucher. She's gone for 1. Southern Vipers 81 for 4.
Yeah, look, whether she thought she'd found the gap and there was an easy single or runs there to the end, it was a good bit of fielding, but an accurate throw. Very committed, way down the pitch here. There's Heath then with the throw. Yeah, just too committed, just too far down the pitch. Kelly then. So work to do here for the Vipers. It was all looking so good. They were 62 without loss, became 62 for 1. 69 for 1, became 69 for 2. And from that point onwards, really, it's all been about the Diamonds. So you've got to give them a lot of credit for fighting back after being out of the game really in the first 5 or 6 overs, thanks to Danny Wyatt. You can see there, it's a terrific fight back under pressure.
Oh, Charlotte Edwards said she'd be happy with around that 150 mark. As you say though, Nick, Yorkshire Diamond just finding a way to pull it back. Aaron Winfield's been brave at times, keeping the field up to the new batters in, and knew how important it was to keep Danny Wyatt off strike, and eventually that led to her dismissal. Good pitch as well. I think chasing on here, the pitch won't change at all. It's a new wicket, very fresh. I've seen it play, good bounce, consistent.
Two for 4. All things were going so well when Danny Wyatt was out there. She's just come and joined us in the pod. Danny, thanks ever so much. Well played.
Thank you, Nick. How's your being here?
Good out there. Conditions?
Yeah, it's a lovely wicket. can't normally score runs out here at the Ageas Bowl, but yeah, it was a lovely wicket.
Not a favourite ground then, clearly.
No, I said to one of the girls, I can never score runs at this place.
Well, you just put that right. That'll help. That'll just cheer up the Vipers' dressing room. That'll cheer up Danny Wyatt, because they needed that, really. It's been a good phase of play for the Diamonds. They get still just 5 off the over, 86 for 4. How well are you playing at the moment? How well are you striking it?
Yeah, feeling good touch at the minute. Yeah, I don't know how I hit some of them shots over the covers. It's meant to be 1 bounce form, and ended up going for 6, so... yeah, I'm enjoying being out there. I love T20 cricket, and yeah, hopefully we can get a win tonight.
Never liked talking over dismissals, but when you got out, what was the thought process? What were you trying to do?
I wanted to slog sweep it into the pocket. I've been playing that shot quite well the last few games, but probably not the good option against Levick. Yeah, she's probably their biggest threat in their bowling at the minute, so yeah, probably not a good option by myself, but yeah, I felt confident, and I said to Thea I was going to keep going and keep being positive. Yeah, hopefully we'll see some big shots from these two.
You just missed your dismissal. You weren't watching. It's on the monitor in front of you. We're going to have to show it again. Sorry, but it was very clever to miss it, but I think they might show it again.
Might be coming back in the pod after this, Dan.
I know, I'm getting slated.
Thought
we were friends, Nick.
We are.
Catch that! Oh,
Yeah!
it was there
Unlucky.
as well. Yeah, I didn't quite connect. Yes.
So they're going to find Hilda in the deep. Charlotte was in 10-15 minutes ago saying 150 was where you're looking. You've been out there for quite a few overs. What are you thinking?
7 overs to go. Yeah, 150 I'm feeling. Yeah, these two can hit it really far. They've been smashing it in the net, so hopefully these two can stay in for a few overs.
Is that your role, Dan, if you get out of the power play and you're going well? The coach gives you license to just keep going?
Yeah, maybe should have hit it around a bit more, but it's a tough one really, because I felt like I could hit the ball wherever it went really, so I tried to keep being positive. It's what I did against Surrey the other day. Just kept going and it came off, so maybe should have knocked it around a bit more today.
Don't think you should be too hard on yourself, Dan. You batted very well.
Thanks, guys. Hopefully have a little bowl later.
89 for 4.
Not the last two. I feel good. After the third game,
Are you into your stats?
Depends which
Well, it's
stat.
a good stat. You're the first player in KSL history to get 4 50s in a tournament. And you got 3 in a row. So you might just add to that in your next couple of games.
2 games left plus
Yeah.
finals if we make it. I don't like to think too far ahead though. Just bat.
It's the gap. Look at that Western Storm going. Amazing, aren't they? Well, they're 8 wins now from 8.
Yeah, we've lost 2 games this tournament, and they've both been to Western Storm. They've got a cracking lineup. I mean, they bat all the way down to number 11. Get out of the way, Thea. Yeah, if we come across them in finals, then I said it's not a bad thing. We can beat them in the finals, but yeah, they're an exceptional team. They've got some great bowlers, and like I said, they got all the way to 11. So yeah, it's been some great cricket.
You're an established international player. What about some of the younger players? Give us a name that's perhaps impressed you in the KSL this year.
Izzy Wong, Maya Bouchier.
Gone. What a spell this is for the Diamonds. It keeps getting better and better.
We can see what Kelly was trying to do. Just come down, try and put a bit of pressure on the bowler. But nice, easy work from Alyssa Healy. That's the end of Marie Kelly. She's gone for 5, and Vipers 90 for 5.
Schofield then with work to do here. Relatively straightforward stumping for Alyssa Healy. Might have seen her coming and just fired it a little wider. In the end, couldn't reach it. In the end, she was given out caught behind. But, a little feather on it. She only got a feather on it. She was committed so far down that it would have been a stumping with a little feather on it. So a good catch from Alyssa Healy. Card just puts into context just how good the innings was from Danny Wyatt. 59 from 30. No one else has really got going. We think, and Danny is next to us, thinks it's an excellent pitch here, and somewhere around 150 is what they need, or what they hope to get. It's exactly what she thought there, Charlotte Edwards, confirmed by Danny Wyatt. So they've got work to do then to get to, 8 and over gets them to 140. Last 8 overs since the power play, 30 for 5. So we're going to see have a little bowl later as well?
Yeah, I've been told I'm bowling 3rd over in the power play. So I'm going to come
told already, 3rd over in the power play?
I'm going to come around the wicket and fire it in on the stumps, hopefully.
So if you're batting in the 3rd over, you know that Danny Wyatt's going to come round the wicket and fire it in.
To be fair, you don't want to get out to me, do you?
Is that the tactic?
Yeah, I don't know where to put my 2 fielders yet. I'm still thinking. I'm thinking long on and cow. But Healy likes to go over extra cover, so I'm sure.
Nothing like pre-planning.
Yeah, Tammy likes a bit of a plan. Tammy Beaumont. She's a great captain, though. She's done great this series, this tournament.
What are her great strengths, then, as a leader?
Well, she loves a plan. There she is. Yeah, she's just great. She's done really well. She's very confident. I've tried to help, but she doesn't listen to me.
How much time, Dan, do you spend talking about other players of opposition, or is it just about what you guys do?
We speak about it before each game. We had a bowlers meeting before the game, which I was in. Yeah, we spoke about where we want to bowl to each batter, mainly in the top 5. And yeah, it's down to all of us to look at their bowlers.
Right, another good over. 5 to go now then, so we're through 15, 96 for 5. Danny, thanks very much, we'll let you go.
Thank you.
Well batted, and we're looking forward to that 3rd over.
What's the next big thing? Your whitest smile. Introducing Colgate Expert Anti-Stain with advanced dual action. It removes deep set and dark surface stains for up to 3 shades whiter teeth. Reveal smile. With new Colgate Expert Anti-Stain. You've got it.
The Yorkshire Diamonds have battled their way back into this contest with a mixture of excellent fielding like that. Very good tight bowling, mainly from Katie Levick. 2 for 17 from 4 for her. Lindsay Smith's not going badly either. Got the feeling, listening to Danny Wyatt, that she's not a big fan of the old team meeting.
Well, what gave you that impression, Butch? I'm with you, by the way, but...
One of those, you know, you had them in the dressing room, there'd be a team meeting going on, and you'd scan the faces around the dressing room, and you'd see a couple kind of fiddling with their kit or doing up their laces. There's the odd one with that vacant, the blank look, completely nothing going on behind the ears, and you know there's a whole bunch of cartoons clanging away in their head behind that. There was only ever about 3 people that listened to those meetings when I was in them.
And usually the team meeting would occur after you've done something rather energetic for about 3 hours. Don't go, lads, just yet. We just want to talk about this player for an hour and a half. And how strong he is and how good a player he is and how you're not going to get him out. Oh, that's great. Thanks for that.
Yeah, she's brilliant, Danny Wyatt.
One thing I will say...
Go on.
...is that she could have played the most almighty double bluff to Nick Knight. And that she says she's going to come round the wicket and the 3rd over, she's going to bowl the 3rd over round the wicket and spear it into the legs. I just wonder if in the Yorkshire Diamonds dressing room they're taking that on board.
I think she just sat next to Tammy Wyatt there going, yeah, Skip, I agree with absolutely everything you said in that meeting earlier on. 4 to go, 100 up, 5 down.
Well, 100 comes eventually. They got off to that racing start thanks to Danny Wyatt. No one else really has put a score on the board. But Thea Brooks in for Stefani Taylor, who's out with that groin injury, trying to make her mark. And just listening to Charlotte Edwards a little earlier on saying that Stefani's here for the pool stages, but someone's going to have to step up come finals day, should the Southern Vipers make it. If Thea Brooks, who's come in, manages to get a score here, maybe even keep her place.
Beth Langston's first 2 overs during the power play cost her 20. It's back in perhaps to close out the innings by the 17th and the 19th in the pavilion end. Now, Stefani Taylor, big boots to fill for, well, Thea Brooks today. Who knows if that'll be the case going on. 205 runs and 8 wickets in the KSL up to this point. It's been quite a turnaround this innings. Notice those stats there. The first 50 coming up in 30 deliveries, the second in 66. It's difficult to tell what's changed beyond Danny Wyatt getting out. The surface still looks to be pretty good.
maybe a couple of things. Katie Levitt with the leg spin. And then the change of angle. Katie George bowled really nicely. Left armour. Just tucked batsman up just that wee bit. Not giving the freedom.
Yeah, I actually wondered if it might have been a good move to have opened the bowling with Katie George. Left arm over, trying to cramp particularly Danny Wyatt up for a bit of room. She got a lot of width, didn't she, in the early power play? Four singles from the first four deliveries of Beth Langston over. She's mixed the pace up nicely, a couple of back of the hand slower balls.
Amazing as well what will happen in the Yorkshire Diamonds field and the feeling within them after smashed around in that power play. Huge lift. Now they've managed to drag it back, knowing that they're not going to be chasing possibly the 150, 160 that was on the cards from early doors. Well, there's that Hawkeye of Danny Wyatt. Second wheel.
Six singles from the 17th. 106 for 5.
What's the next big thing? Your whitest smile. Introducing Colgate Expert Anti-Stain with advanced dual action. It removes deep set and dark surface stains for up to 3 shades whiter teeth. Reveal your whitest smile. With new Colgate Expert Anti-Stain. You've got it.
30 deliveries since the last boundary. Partnership of 16 from 20 is not the sort of explosive finish the Vipers would have been looking for. Thea Brooks and Paige Schofield have just been struggling to break the shackles. Spoke about Katie George and the left arm angle being one of the reasons why the Diamonds have managed to drag things back so desperately. Well, the desperation hasn't been in the Diamonds, it's been in the Vipers' quest for boundaries.
Katie George, there's a little bit of old school in this. Just spot the drag from the back foot.
Last left arm bowler I can remember doing that in the men's game would have been Mark Eilert of Essex. Played a couple of test matches for England in the 90s. Very, very handy bowler when the ball swung. Straight up in the air. 3 fielders converge. But it's Katie George who claims it. Brilliant stuff from the Diamonds. Excellent from Katie George. And the fight back continues.
Well, she called for it early. Just slightly pace off. 62 miles an hour. She was touching 72, 73 earlier on. And she fended everybody off. She wanted it herself. She deserves that wicket. She's bowled really well tonight, has Katie George, but Thea Brooks, her time comes to an end, made 17, and it's 107 for 6.
Fee Morris is in at number 8 for the Vipers. Just the 24 runs in the 14 games. 25-year-old with a job to do. slight stumble there in the delivery from Katie George. Just digging out the footholds there. It looked like she turned an ankle. Seems as though she's okay now. There's that slower ball. Just ran her fingers down the side of it. And then if you want a job doing, do it yourself. Back off. Nicely claimed.
Well, no wonder Lauren Winfield is smiling broadly. The way that her and her team have dragged things back from that start. This is a slight worry about the Southern Vipers, that they're a little top-heavy in the batting order. Granted, no Stefani Taylor, but should she have been playing, Bates, Wyatt, Beaumont, Stefani Taylor, that is quite the powerhouse top four. And now you're asking the top three to get them, and when two of them fail, you're asking a lot of your middle order.
Well, that's been spooned up in the air as well, but will land short. Didn't make it outside of the circle, so Morris gets away. I mean, the difficulty, I guess, for the Vipers when you lose Stefani Taylor is that Tammy Beaumont and Susie Bates, for their own very high standards, have had a quiet KSL thus far. Perhaps not in the sort of nick that they would like to be. So the job really for the others was to make sure they kept getting Danny Wyatt on strike, and that's not what happened. Straight up in the air again. Would you believe it? Overseas player, Kiwi Lee Kasparek has spilt the simplest of chances. 110 for 6.
Well, they're friends again now, after that apology. But again, it's really well bowled from Katie George. Fingers across it, just taking the pace off ever so slightly was enough. Just on the edge of the digits. Want the ground to swallow you up. Catch 99 out of 100 of those.
Beautifully timed. What timing that is. Paige Schofield has finally found the boundary for the Vipers, and it was a shot of real beauty.
There's a little bit of pivot in this. A little flick there in the wrists and the turning of the bat. Fabulous connection. Just using the pace of Langston. Nonchalantly whipped away.
Well, that tells me two things. The one that Paige Schofield can play, and the other that there are plenty of runs in this pitch, and that at the moment the Vipers are falling well short. Delicate little scoop around the corner, and rather like London buses, the boundaries are coming thick and fast after a drought.
Yeah, slow ball attempted from Beth Langston. Locals loving it. A gift, really. Especially with fine leg up inside the circle. Just helped it on its way. We've seen the shift in impetus in this innings, going one way and then the other, and now is it just rocking back towards the Southern Vipers, the business end of this innings.
Back of the hand, slow ball again, lands this one. And they come back for two. They'll have to hurry at the keeper's end. The throw is poor. And it rendered the dive unnecessary. Schofield gets herself back on strike.
Yeah, Lissy Healy, I just fancy was masked a little bit from the running of Paige Schofield. I think that had just got between ball and keeper.
Yeah, it was very, very wide as well, the throw. Well, they're coming back for two. She shouldn't make it this time. Unbelievable. Alyssa Healy gathers the ball in but misses the stumps. It was cheeky running, really. There was no call. They both saw the misfield and made eye contact and just snuck back. But even so, Schofield probably should have been run out by a long way.
I can't quite believe that. That is a rarity. A wicketkeeper of her class. She doesn't manage to take the bails off. It's astonishing.
She missed. It was an absolute brain fade. Another cute little dab. And that's a very productive over for the Vipers. 124 for 6.
The skyscrapers to the left, the bungalows in the middle. Now they've just erected another one in the 19th. Nice little burst from the Southern Vipers. How dearly they'd like another one of similar quality. Get them in and around that 135, 140 mark.
Now Lee Kasparek has the honour, the duty of closing out the innings from the Hilton Hotel end, taking her time to make sure that the field is absolutely spot on. She'll be bowling at Fee Morris. Paige Schofield at the other end is 24 not out from 18 deliveries. Three back on the leg side, and that's where that one goes.
We'll see a little similarity when Diamonds start their response. Lauren Bell, tall, bit of pace. Tash Farrant, who's having a very good KSL this year after a little bit of injury. She will be taking the new ball.
And that's going to get over the infield. Oh, that's brilliant. That is brilliant. Jemima Rodriguez showing why she has been brought over as an overseas player. She's a wonderful ball striker, but she's a pretty good catcher too.
Well, Lee Kasparek, who was guilty of dropping a goober in the previous over, is the beneficiary of the athleticism and the technique of Jemima Rodriguez. Fabulous piece of work. Always difficult going away from you and diving full length. A brilliant catch to get rid of a very good cameo from Paige Schofield. 24 she made, 125 for 7.
Well, that epitomises the fight back from the Diamonds for me. We'll gloss over the drop from Kasparek in the previous over. But they have dragged themselves back into this contest, taken wickets at regular intervals, and have surely cut off the Vipers short of what they were aiming for. Strike rate of 150 for Amanda Jade Wellington. Again, the field is well set and the delivery well directed from Kasparek.
Off stump, that's middling off. It's off stump.
Worth watching it again. No wonder she had a massive grin on her face. was a brilliant catch. And that one's not bad either. Wellington goes first ball. Armitage with the catch at long on. This is a brilliant final over from Kasparek.
Yeah, just out of the front of the hand as well. No spin or revolutions on the ball, just floating out, and Kasparek's having a very nice last over. 3 wickets she's got now. Amanda Jade Wellington out first ball, 126 for 8.
3 for 15 now for Lee Kasparek. It'll be Tash Farron to join Fee Morris in the middle. They managed to cross as the ball was making its way down to long on, so she'll be at the non-striker's end. More reinforcements for the leg side. Filled up on the offside, barring long off. 4 outriders in frame, and should just manage to squeak a single. This is a score that is way below what you'd imagined the Vipers would have reached after the power play, but it's remarkably close to the average score here at the Ageas Bowl in the Kia Super League. 126 is the gone, and that concludes a 4-wicket haul for Lee Kasparek. What a brilliant innings she's had. 4 for 16 for the Kiwi overseas bowler, and this innings has fallen apart from the Vipers. It started so promisingly 62 for none in the power play, 65 for 9 outside of it. And the Yorkshire Diamonds, who have just upset the champion Surrey Stars on the road, have put themselves in a great position to upset the Vipers here at the Ageas Bowl.
Well, maybe it's the start of something. For the Yorkshire Diamonds, history in this competition is not good, and you need your big stars, your overseas signings, to come in and put in a performance for you, and that is exactly what Lee Kasparek has done. Got to say that all started in those middle overs. Katie Levick with a leg spin, Katie George just held back the Southern Vipers after a blistering start, and then really they had no answer in that engine room of the Vipers batting order, and they've limped to a 14. And really, the Yorkshire Diamonds, well, huge wicket to lose in their overseas. Alicia Healy gone for 11, 12 for 1 the score.
Good work from the Vipers, they're alert. Danny Wyatt doing the work with the field, direct hit. They know that's a big wicket.
So Holly Armitage comes in. Thanks to Danny Wyatt's dead eye. Great work. Nick Knight's just reminded me, actually. It's good that she got that right arm loose. She said here in the pod that she's going to be bowling the 3rd over. Danny Wyatt did. She's quite adamant that that was the plan.
Yeah, she told us her field as well. She's going to dart it in.
What did she say? She wanted a cow corner and a long arm.
Yeah, that's what she said.
She hadn't completely decided. Let's see if she was telling the truth off a few porkies. That's close. That is close. Maybe again, just that little bit of late movement. Maybe even a touch of height. Tall as Lauren Bell. Tall as the Shard.
She's got good movement here. Winfield's just gone across her stumps. Her head's toppled over. She's deep in her crease. I know it's hit her on the knee roll, but I think because she is deep in her crease, that's closer than we think.
First glance, it looked very good. Oh, well bowled again. It's good from Lauren Bell. Excellent over after a boundary off the first ball. 13 for 1 after 2.
Let's just have another look at this. Everything looks good.
Well, it was good. Kept herself a little bit unlucky, but an excellent first over. Despite that loose in the first ball, someone definitely to keep an eye on. Well, I thought this would happen. Danny Wyatt bowling the 3rd over round the wicket, darting them into a roundabout leg stump. Just had a feeling.
I wonder what field she's going to have.
I reckon a cow and a long on. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah. There we go. Darting them into a roundabout leg stump. I mean, that's quite the giveaway from Danny Wyatt, to be fair.
Really good, that leggy. Can't knock across that leggy.
She's a beauty.
Come on, Dan.
There's very few players who would come in and just quite happily tell us of the tactics.
Yeah, very much says it how it is, Danny Wyatt. No nonsense.
Chance of catch just to the left-hand side. And enough bat speed to evade Tash Farrant and her chase as well. Armitage off the mark.
She's got that a bit wide up. Molly Armitage not managing to get hold of it, but gets away with it.
Really good, that Dan. All over it, Dan.
Almost scooting through.
fingers, Tashi. Love you. Down, Beatty! Yes, he's back now. Go again here, Dan. Your leg feeling this one? Wait! Yes, Danny Wyatt.
Just not giving any width to try and free those arms. He was unlucky with the edge earlier on in the over. It's been a tidy over from Wyatt.
Yes, B!
Yeah, well bowled. The stuff from Wyatt, as she said, she's done exactly what she said she'd do. 3 overs gone, 19 for 1.
Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is...
We don't just engineer to a spec, we engineer to a feeling. The all-new Mazda 3.
Just smile.
Roll the pound clock. Still plenty to come for Yorkshire. And Kasparek down to come in at number 6 as well. She's been lofted up the order from the start of the season. Lauren Bell to continue. Again, just felt this one might have just been sliding.
Oh, she's getting movement. She's getting movement through the air. And that's just causing Holly Armitage problems in terms of keeping her balance.
She knows that's the shape that's coming into her. There's a deep square leg. It's the third in place. That's nicely fielded. Well done. Good work in the covers. Susie Bates. All the Vipers captain. Sure hands. I just wonder if it might just be worth Holly Armitage, Lauren Whitfield actually taking maybe a different guard, perhaps, knowing full well. Coming out the crease a little bit, perhaps.
Yeah, well, that will negate the swing. If you can get out at the ball, you can try and neutralise that. As you can see, if you get stuck, it just exposes you. In the end, doing a bit too much. She's bowling well though, Lauren Bell. She's opens the bowling for her school, Bradfield College. Plays in the first 11 with the boys. Same as Izzy Wong actually at Shrewsbury School. They're very proud of what they've both achieved. I've done some work with both of those schools.
Quick single taken, Beaumont just can't gather. Alert to the opportunity. Yeah, a little part of me was disappointed that Isabel Wong didn't get the nod today. Fabulous to see the young fast bowling stocks coming through the ranks. Lauren Bell is one of those. And one thing that you generally don't get a huge amount of in the women's game is bounce. Coming down from that higher angle, you look at, Catherine Brunt, Anya Shrubsole. Lauren Bell's got another probably foot.
You can't get out at her because you know the height that she bowls it from. It's hard to meet it on the half volley. Yorkshire Diamonds, 22 for 1. Lauren Bell just doing it. job here for the Southern Vipers.
It shows you the difference in the start that the Southern Vipers got. It's well worth repeating the statistics from that earlier innings. Power play, the Vipers 62 without loss. Subsequently, the 14 overs were 65 for 9. I just wonder if the Yorkshire Diamonds here are actually just quite happy and content to work it around for the moment. Build a steady platform.
We're ready here then, girls. We're ready here. On our time now.
Tash Farrant returns.
Your wicket here at the pads. Yes, Betsy.
It's firmly struck a loud shout from Armitage as she saw the onrushing Lauren Winfield. Sweetly timed by Armitage, finding the middle of the bat. Just can't pierce the field. It's both from the Vipers' point of view. Lydia's control and discipline. Let's try and build up the pressure and force a rash mistake. It's thumped away. A lot of work to do on the boundary edge and just too much. Good effort from Paige Schofield, but muscled to the deep mid-wicket boundary.
Tash Farrant just missing her length slightly. Holly Armitage onto it very quickly, timed it nicely. Sparing effort from Schofield on the boundary. Frustration for Farrant.
And just a single to conclude the fifth over. So coming from that, 1 over of the power play remains, and the Diamonds 27 for 1.
England have been through 2 grueling tests against the Welsh.
With Japan looming, they've just stepped up their preparations.
So now, the preparations for the World Cup continue. With another huge challenge. England take on the Irish at Twickenham, live on Sky Sports.
So excellent effort with the ball for the Diamonds, and not a straightforward run chase, but a reasonable enough start. 27 for 1. And number 1 is stood next to us. She's been standing poor Alyssa Healy for about the last 5 minutes here. We're going to finally bring her in. Thanks ever so much for coming to join us.
Most welcome.
Bad luck. Well done to the bowlers, though.
Yeah, it was a really good effort. Obviously, there was 60 off the power play, I think, sort of dragging back to 120. We've had a few of these run chases now in the 120s, and we haven't done it that convincingly, but hopefully tonight's the night.
Yeah, it's an important game for the Yorkshire Diamonds. They won last night. A little bit of a mix-up, but okay, because the throw was wide. Yeah, what was the chat at half-time then? Trying to chase this down, what was the thoughts?
Yeah, obviously, I think we took all the momentum going back into the change room after, the finish with the ball, and I thought it was a really good batting surface. I think it still is a really good batting surface, and I knew that if we just batted smart, gave ourselves time to get in, we'd chase it down easy, but run-outs don't help.
Speaking of run-outs...
Feel a stitch-up coming on here.
Oh, it's just very kind of you to come down, because we didn't need an explanation for this. What happened? Did they move?
Well, as you can see, I was a little bit unsure if it was going to hit the bails or not, but I thought I'd done a really good job. I was backing up the bowler's end, and then I had to sprint back to my end. So, look, for me, it was a very athletic performance, but I just missed the bails at the end of the day. Sometimes it just happens. Wicket keeping's not easy.
I hear you. It's a very thankless task.
See, Tammy Beaumont's out there having a go at it today. She wouldn't be a regular keeper, would she?
I don't think I've ever seen her with the gloves on. So it's,
how's she doing?
It's nice she's joining the keepers club. So she's doing a solid job behind there at the minute. But hopefully she doesn't take any screamers.
I've been enjoying it this year, the KSL.
Yeah, it's been really good. I've really enjoyed my experience so far, and I've obviously played a little bit of cricket over here in Ashes series and World Cups, but I can't say that I've had a lot of experience playing in English conditions, so it was nice timing and a nice opportunity to come over here and get a taste of the KSL, obviously the last year of it before we start the 100, so it's been a really good experience.
It's away with it. So we're through 6 overs, 29 for 1.
Well, power play started with a bang. So Healy through the offside and then swivelling on that pull shot. Big shout for LBW, but sliding down the leg side, and here is a direct hit. Danny Wyatt, who's having a magnificent evening here at the Aegeus Bowl, sending back our guest Alyssa Healy. Two lusty blows from the bat of Armitage and the partnership with Lauren Winfield. But it's not the sort of start that the Vipers got off to. 62 without loss with the Vipers in the power play. But there's a long, long way to go. And if the Diamonds can continue in a fashion at this sort of run rate, they'll give themselves a really good chance of turning over the Vipers in their home nest.
Poor old Alyssa. She's come here to be hanging around waiting to chat, and then when she has chatted, she's seen her dismissal about 5 times.
It's alright, it serves me right for getting out.
That's alright, you can come in and have a gloat about winning the Ashes though, can't you?
I cop a bit of stick from my teammates whenever the Ashes comes up in conversation. They give me a loud clap, so I've stopped bringing it up now because I'm starting to get a little embarrassed, but no, that's long gone. We're moving on now.
Does well, just watch the spin. Have you found the standard of the competition? Inevitably us that watch the Big Bash and various other competitions around the world like to make a comparison. Have you found it over here?
Yeah, I think it's a difficult comparison to make, and I don't like doing it too much, but I think it's a really good standard of cricket. Yeah, I think you know, you're getting top international cricketers that are wanting to come over here and play, and I think that's a sign of, you know, where the competition's at. And I think we've read a lot of media over the last sort of couple of weeks about your domestic structure and, you know, how that might change moving forward, and, you know, what we've got in place in Australia. And I think, you know, the more that the next level underneath become more fully professional, I think we'll see it grow and grow.
Swept. Should... No, not quite. Not quite. It was always just dipping. In the end, I think she got there, but it was always a tough catch. Not sure she picked it up straight away.
No, it's usually the area that you find Danny Wyatt out there, but it's Paige Schofield. A deep square leg. Top edge went up a long way, and she did hesitate initially. Perhaps didn't pick up the line, didn't track the trajectory of the ball. And that's what cost her in the end. Desperate lunge at the death, and was unable to cling on to it.
Playing that sweep shot, sweep slog. So not any really big overs at the moment, but just ticking over.
Yes, Welly, finish it off there, Welly!
Super shot, lovely shot. All about timing and placement. It's a much better over for Yorkshire. 10 runs from it. 39 now for 1 from 7.
Just a hint of turn, but it didn't matter because Lauren Winfield had the length covered, nice and close to it, but not too close that she couldn't get a full swing of the bat at it. She looked to be in really good touch, the Diamonds captain.
Well, that's the Danny Wyatt effect. Got off to an absolute flyer. 59 from 30, her own individual effort. That's why the Worm is way in advance at the moment of the Diamonds. So we're nearly through the group stages. You spotted anyone, any young players of note that perhaps you wouldn't have heard of before?
I've seen quite a few. I've been really impressed with a lot of the young girls around the competition. In particular in our team, I'm actually really impressed at Holly Armitage and the way that she hits the ball. She's sort of brought the sweep into her game in this tournament, and that's worked really well for her. But her power down the ground is really impressive, and hopefully we see a bit of it tonight. But even some youngsters up at Lancashire, we had a really close game against them, and a couple of them came out and sort of showed their stuff towards the end of the innings and made some crucial runs for them. So it's exciting times for England cricket. I know they've got a bit of change happening at the moment, but I think they've got some really good young cricketers that are sort of coming through this stage of professional cricket, and it's going to be really exciting for them.
Do they come and tap you on the shoulder and say anything you've seen that perhaps you could help me with? I mean, are you there to sort of help out a bit as well?
Well, I got first day on the job, and Katie George asked me to teach her how to on-drive, so I was like, well, challenge accepted. Yeah, but I think that's the beauty of these domestic competitions and why they are important and I guess exciting to be a part of, is that all the knowledge that you can learn from each and every individual from all around the world. I guess look at the Vipers at the moment, and you've got Susie Bates standing at cover, who's captain New Zealand for a long period of time and been really successful with them, and just the knowledge that all these girls can learn off some really talented cricketers I think is crucial.
Not the middle of the bat, but importantly finds the gap.
Now, you've got to let us into a little secret in that Aussie dressing room. We can't get anything out of Elise Parry when we speak to her in terms that she won't ever talk about her own game or, how well she's playing. Is she in the dressing room going on about how great she is the whole time, and then she clams up when she comes out, or what?
No, she's one of the more modest cricketers going around, and what you see is what you get with Pez. She keeps to herself a lot too, whilst her gear bag is still the smelliest out of everyone's in the change room. She keeps to herself, and the ultimate
I knew there was
professional.
something wrong with her. I knew she did something
her
wrong.
Her inners are woeful. They are disgusting. Doesn't help when you bat for so long, and you don't really get an opportunity to wash them, but ultimate professional, and yeah, one of the most modest going around, considering her career so far.
Outstanding figures. Wicketless, but 0 for 13 of 4, Lauren Bell. And when we started this competition, I think our first game was up at Headingley. The game we covered with you, I think, in the Surrey Stars. I asked Mel Jones to pick out one player that perhaps we hadn't heard of, that we should look out for, and she said Lauren Bell. Morris into the attack.
Harsh call that from Neil Bainton. Armitage got a long way across to her off stump. Almost bowled round the legs.
Gem of an innings from Danny Wyatt. What was the chat when she was going out there? What were the plans?
Yeah, she's a difficult player to bowl to. She backs her strengths, and any width that you give her doesn't have to be a lot. She punishes you, so it's yeah. I'm not sure exactly what the plans were. I won't lie to you, but I think it was just literally by the end of it, get her off strike, and I think that's how we got her out in the end. We starved her of the strike and sort of got her out that way, but yeah, she's hitting the ball very, very well. She made that look like a really easy wicket to bat on.
I'm glad you said that. I mean, it was quite obvious watching out here from the pod that it looked like Lauren Winfield just trying desperately to keep her off strike, and in the end it worked.
Yeah, I think that's the key. I think you sort of just cling on in the power play and you know, get your best bowlers bowling there, but if it doesn't quite go to plan, it's righto, where's plan B when we get out of the power play and we get 4 out? How are we going to get her off strike, and how are we going to starve the other end? We were lucky at the other end. Susie Bates was striking at 50 and being able to put pressure on that way.
Just play. Great work, Pay.
Never could do those. Back in the 80s, you could peel the stickers off and stick them back on. I think that's the cubes, the blocks themselves are the colours, so you can't
get
cheat.
one side.
Could do
you
one
should have been able
side.
to do one side.
Yeah, I mean, it'd take me the entire lunch break if I could do one side.
Oh, Baldy!
Pretty analogue piece of kit nowadays, that though, isn't it? No batteries, no Wi-Fi involved.
Yeah, he's done that before. And keep an eye on him. What do you reckon? Another couple of minutes before he's done it? Ah, he's done us a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds, eh? What about that? Big clever clogs. Well done, buddy. Show us your face, that's the way. Well done, buddy. Now just muck it up and have another go. 9 gone, 52 for 1.
Not a bit of manual dexterity up there in the stands, out there in the middle. The Vipers made 127 for 9. They look for all the world as though they passed 150. Danny Wyatt top scoring with 59. 4 for 16 for Lee Kasperick. 52 for 1, the Diamonds in reply.
Susie Bates missed out with the bat. She was just happy really to get off strike and get Danny Wyatt on strike. It's a terrific play. I think she was the first batter to get 100 in the KSL, so that's going back a few years now. Danny Wyatt's the only one that's got 100 this year. Happy enough at the moment, the way things are ticking over for your team?
Yeah, I think chasing this sort of smallish total, you're never quite comfortable. Obviously, you don't want the run rate getting up too high, but one big over, I think, will swing the momentum a little bit. It's sort of on the edge at the minute. I know we're only one down, and we'll be quite comfortable chasing, but just need one big over to get us going, I reckon.
Well, conditions certainly don't seem to be any more difficult for batting than they were in the first half. And Lauren Winfield looks to have the bit between her teeth out there. 42 from 49 now, this partnership. Building up for an exciting second half of this run chase.
Just picked up and dispatched. Excellent placement. Deep mid-wicket in place, long on in place, but finds the gap.
Yeah, it's a really crucial knock for us. It's something that we haven't quite done throughout this KSL so far, as one of us top 4 haven't really gone on with the game and sort of grabbed it by the scruff of the neck and said, this is our opportunity to win the game for our side. So if these two can hang out here as long as possible, I think they'll be able to get us over the line. But it's something we've been speaking a lot about of late.
There's that on drive as well. We've all been watching you.
Funnily enough, Katie walked out to bat in the first game and hit one anyway, so I didn't even need to teach her anything.
Well, you can just take the credit for it quickly.
We did talk about how to play it, so maybe that helped.
Now, before we let you go, just picking up something you said earlier on about the Ashes being gone and you move on and you don't talk about what's gone on in the past. I'll remind you of that when you retire, because for me, that's all I've got. I refer to it every day.
Well, I mean, the men are still going at the moment, so we can still talk about the Ashes, I suppose, but yeah, that's an exciting series in itself. I wonder how that's going to finish.
Any gossip? You got anything from us from a certain Mr. Stark?
Given might have just been creeping down, but no. Umpire says it's straight enough. So the introduction of Susie Bates and a wicket straight away.
Well, mention the name of Mitchell Stark and you get a full swinging delivery that rams into the pads of the Yorkshire Diamonds captain. It looked a tiny shade leg side, but probably would have just clipped that leg stump. And that's a really important breakthrough for the Vipers. Lauren Winfield's gone for 23. It's 60 for 2.
John says, footy's on. He says, I'll cook tonight. John says, footy. He says, by the way, my flatmate's out. Winking face.
Toyota iGo. Just go. Available with 0% APR representative.
Jamila Rodriguez coming in to replace Lauren Winfield. Just looked like an element of Lakeside-ish about this, and you're right, Nick Knight. Your first instinct, your gut instinct, was the right one.
Nicely played. You feel it anywhere near that position, so batter aware of the field positions.
The long levers. Lauren Bell managing to drag it back. Important role here for Holly Armitage as well. See Jemima Rodriguez in, develop a partnership.
Yes, Taff! Come on, go! Stay away from there, Benny. Speak. Oh, yes, well done!
It's nicely bowled from Amanda Jade Wellington. Yeah, very interesting period of the game now. Especially to see the approach that Rodriguez takes. Still very tender in years, just 18 years of age. Shouts a catch that powered through, should be good enough, and is.
Yeah, she'll take it. Wasn't in the middle of the bat at all, but you're right. It's hit well enough. Trying to hit it, I think, down the ground there, and in the end it sliced off the face.
That's nicely bowled. Soft hands from Rodriguez, though. They're just keeping in touch with that required rate. Started off just above sixes, remains that way, 6.5 now. No need to panic for the Diamonds. Almost squeezing through. Going to take a look at this. Not too much of a worried look for Holly Armitage. The Vipers all coming together as one. This will clarify. Just home. So Armitage survives. Eight runs off that, Wellington over 11 gone, 68 for 2.
Come on, ladies. Walk into there.
It's well worked. Going to think about 2, but quickly and off the boundary. Danny Wyatt, very good boundary rider. It's well worth reminding ourselves what else has occurred across the country today. The Kia Super League, the Western Storm continue their winning ways, overcoming the Surrey Stars. Good game as well, just 4 runs the difference. Sarah Taylor in the runs for the Surrey Stars, albeit in defeat. There's what it means in the table. Look at that Western Storm. Like the 88-89 Arsenal team or the 1972 Miami Dolphins. Could go unbeaten. Could be perfect.
Bob. Greasy.
Yeah, Bob Greasy. That's right. Quarterback for the 72 Miami Dolphins. Larry Zonka, the running back.
Of course, yeah. Silly me.
You knew that, didn't you?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I've blown your mind there, haven't I, Nick?
Brilliant.
Sweetly struck. Quite the achievement, though, for the Western Storm. And if they do continue that form, it looks as though they're only going to be playing one game on finals day.
I like that as well. I don't know what you think about that. I like the fact that if you top the group, I mean, in many competitions, the Blast would be a good example of it. You come top of the group and you get home quarter-final. You come top of the group here, you go straight into the final. You're rewarded for winning, being the best side in the group stages. And you play a lot of games, and they're going to complete 10 group games. So second place, third in the semi-final.
It's similar in the Royal London this year, isn't it? Last couple of years or so, where top of the table goes straight through to their semi-final. Second and third playoff for the right to meet that side. I agree with you. I think that's what should happen in more leagues.
Oh, don't miss that!
And that's really well placed. Bisecting the field perfectly. Oh! Potential for injury. And even more saddening for the Southern Vipers. They've allowed it to go through for 4. I hope Tash Farron's all right. She might have got a stud from Danny Wyatt. The end of the 12th over, 75 for 2.
Looked like Danny, didn't look like there was a mix-up there. Looked like Danny Wyatt was completely committed to try and stop that one there. In the end, she, it might have been, just an awkward one. She'll have thought she should have stopped that.
Strange, they're going both to their strong sides. Tash Farron to her left, Danny Wyatt to her right.
Sometimes that's a situation where you see them leave it to each other, but Danny Wyatt was completely committed. She didn't tell us when she was going to bowl her second over. She told us when she was going to bowl her first, but she's kept us waiting this time.
If she had come on and said, well, I'm bowling the 13th,
yeah.
That would have been some special tactics. Well, she's back. Her first over was a good one. Even though she was hit for a boundary, it was a fortunate one. 6 runs coming from her first over. Deft little touch from Rodrigues. Just skids it through Danny Wyatt, so obviously Rodrigues aware of that little bit of extra skiddy pace.
Third from the left, there's Melvin Betts, second from us. Betsy, very good bowler. Durham and Warwickshire. Wayne Morton, the grey hair next to him. England physio, back in the 90s. Cool, that's a good stop, really good stop, hit hard. Got away with that, it was a little short and a little wide. Yeah, Wayne Morton, England physio. Just when you're struggling for runs on tour and you want a net, physio knocked you over 3 times. Used to love bowling, Wayne. Used to bowl for hours and hours. There he is, Melvin Betts on the left, Wayne Morton.
What did Wayne bowl?
Well, he can tell you better, but it was sort of seam up, but absolutely loved it. Atherton, I reckon he got Atherton out 3 or 4 times in one net session.
I just wonder, with all of the dismissals that Wayne Morton took in the nets, did he ever get close to getting a game?
What, in the 90s, yeah. I know where you're going with that.
Come on, Dan. Victory, Dan.
Just wasn't what you needed when you're struggling for runs. Get knocked over by the physio.
I suppose it's a similar thing. You look at Jason Roy, who was struck on the head and obviously had to go through the concussion protocols, but he was struck on the head from Marcus Trescothick. Bit of friendly fire.
Come on, girls. You know the rate will skyrocket here. Come on.
Yeah, Ollie Pope's been called up, hasn't he?
Oh, yes, Danny.
Played for a little bit of turn that wasn't there. 13 gone, 80 for 2. Yeah. Yeah, so Ollie Pope pulled up just as cover. There's 98% I read that Jason Roy is going to be okay to play tomorrow, but just in case he isn't, Ollie Pope will be up in Leeds tonight, having scored a double 100 for Surrey. 221 not out. That's good timing, isn't it?
Morris back into the attack. It's quite a steady drive though up from London to Leeds after scoring 221. The old lactic acid build up in the muscles, and in the car you get.
You wouldn't mind though, would you? If you've got a chance to play for England the next day, you'll be there in a shot. Good luck to him.
Absolutely.
He's a really good young player.
All starts again tomorrow, don't forget. That's well played, well struck. Excellent on the boundary edge.